Welcome back to another one of my sewing tutorials. We're going to start today with using some beautiful satin fabric. I found this at the fabric store and it was perfect, and I just knew I had to make something with this. So I decided to make a 1940s inspired St. Patrick's Day dress. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with laying out your fabric. And again, I'm not the best with using patterns, so I just kind of created my own. So in the upper left corner of this part of the video, you're going to see the basic shape I went with. And so where you're going to see the green darts in that shape, or the green marks on the top, is where we're going to be sewing darts. So we want to make it a little bit longer, and we want to make sure we're cutting this on a fold line. That's really important, so both of the sides are completely even, and it's just going to make it really nice in the front. And this is the front section of the dress. And then we're going to go ahead and do the back side, and you're going to see here that the shape that I'm cutting out is just slightly different, and this is really going to have to adjust based on the way your back is shaped and the sleeve size. So the overall shape is what I have in the upper left corner again. And you're going to have two of the same shape, and you're going to want to cut them opposite. So you'll see here, after I finish removing these pins, I did one side, and then I'm going to flip the shiny side onto the other shiny side, so that part will be sticking out on both, because they're going to be facing each other where the zipper is going to be sewn in. And that's the reason why we didn't want just one solid piece, is because we're going to be inserting an invisible zipper. And again, in this video, I'm not going to really show sewing in the zipper so much, just because there's so many videos online of how to do that, and I didn't want to waste your time. But then we're going to go ahead, after you do the top part of the dress, we are going to do a waistband. So here, this is the back part of the waist. You want it to be the same length as the back top that you just did and cut out, and you're going to do that multiple times. I tried doubling up on the waist, which is why you're going to see me do it multiple times. But this is just for the back, and I just wanted it for structure, just to double it up. You don't have to do this, it's not necessary. But yeah, so this is the back waist section. You're going to see here, I'm going to go ahead and do the front. And with the front, I wanted it to kind of curve a little bit. So I did it on a fold, and it's about the same length on the far side. But in the middle, I made it a little bit thicker so it would have a more fun effect in the front. And if you missed it, here it is again. It's just a little bit more thick at one side than it is at the other. And I cut it on a fold because it's going to go straight across on the front section of the bodice. And then what I did is I ended up sewing all the pieces together, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a few shapes, but you want to sew the right sides together along the hem. And here is where I'm putting in the waistband, and it's going to be best to use a serger if you have one. If not, use a sewing machine. That's what I've always done with all my projects. It's just going to have a really tight hold. And you want to make sure you got those darts in place and pin them first to make sure you like the location of where the bodice is taken in at, to kind of give the ruffly effect to the front part. And so you're just going to go ahead and sew all the pieces together, front to the back, and then do the waist after you have the front and back pieces together. And you want to make sure that the two middle parts of where the back aren't sewn together, because again, we're going to be putting in a zipper. Okay, and this is where I completely screwed up for my own dress, where I was trying to do the skirt in this sort of manner where I was going to originally gather the skirt, but take it from me, don't do this. You're going to end up almost wasting fabric and have to buy more like I did. But I'll show you how to do it in just a minute here. This is nice to see, like, lengthwise how long you want the skirt, and I'll show you how to actually get the measurements for the skirt, because we're gonna actually do a circle skirt because it'll just look so much cleaner. Okay, so here you're just gonna start with taking the measurement around your waist, and you want it to be as tight as you want the dress. I always go a little bit tighter because I do allow extra seam allowance, but you're gonna do your waist, and then you're gonna do from your waist down to wherever you want it to fall on your leg. So I went in between my ankle and my calf, because I was wanting this to be the classic 1940s style where it's a little bit longer than this. So to start with making the circle skirt, you're going to take that waist measurement and divide whatever the inches is by pi, and that's what you're going to do for the first circle. You also want to make sure that the fabric is folded here and then this side is open on this side. And then you're going to start at the corner with measuring and just go around. So I'll kind of demonstrate what I did here. I already have my measurements down, but I need to double check anyway. And so I'm just going to take my measurement. I'm going to start at the corner here. And then I'm going to go to where that measurement was, and you want to round up to the next fourth of an inch. And then I just went along, and I am going to double check here, but I just want to make sure that measurement is all the way around the quarter circle. And it looks like my measurements were correct, so that's great. And then you're going to take how long you want the skirt, and this is 3 yards of fabric, and I probably could have gotten away with 2/4 or 2.5, and I wanted it to reach about my calf, so I measured that, and that was approximately 33 inches, but because I'm overly cautious of cutting off too much fabric, I went up to 34, and that's probably going to be a lot more than I need. But I went ahead and just kind of measured out lengthwise, running into my table, how far I want that to go. So for me, I wanted 34 inches. And that is perfectly 34 inches. And the easiest way to get your neck circle is to add whatever your measurement was here, plus how long you want it to be. So I added them together, so that way you can still measure from the corner. Just like that, and then I just went ahead and made sure that the measurements are still the same all the way around. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just cut into this and get it pinned onto the top of my dress. Okay, so here is where you're going to go ahead and just attach the skirt. You're just going to do, again, right sides together. And if you measured your waist correctly with the waist of the circle skirt, you're just going to go ahead, sew them right sides together along that seam, and then again leave it open to allow the zipper. Go ahead and sew the zipper in and sew the rest of the skirt up correctly. If you're not sure how to sew in an invisible zipper, you can go ahead and look it up online. There are tons of really helpful tutorials. That's how I learned. And yeah, you'll just go ahead and go from there. Okay, now I'm going to go through with the sleeves. This is kind of the general shape. This needs to be a little bit more straighter, so I think when I go through and cut it, I'm going to straighten it out. But basically the idea is this is the shoulder. I made it a little extra long since I'm going to be gathering right here to make it a little bit more of the like lantern sleeve look. This would be like the armpit, and then this is where you sew it together on the bottom, and then it's just folded right here so that there's not a seam on the top of it. So I'm going to do 2 of these. And, oh, there goes the thread. Anyway, we're going to do 2 of these. Again, I'm just going to kind of straighten out this line. And yeah, we'll just go from there. Next, I'm just going to go ahead and make the kind of like the lantern sleeves where it takes in at the wrist. And I already had gone ahead and just kind of made a little bit of the, not really like cuffings, I don't know what the word is for it, but the part that will cinch in at my wrist. I haven't sewn it in place or anything, I just have it pinned so that I know how wide to keep it. And I have some buttons that I'm going to try and use to attach that, and we're going to see how to make it work. But on the actual sleeve itself, I went ahead and just did a basting stitch, and I'm just going to go through and gather the sleeves so that it fits inside of this. Now I'm just going to pin that cuff link to the sleeve, right sides facing each other, so I can sew along the top and then flip it inside out. Now start embellishing your dress. I just have these little buttons that I'm going to use on the sleeves. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew that on now. back to sleep, guys. Okay, time for the final reveal. I do actually really like how this dress turned out. I like that it's well fitted. It's definitely one of my better projects. I do apologize because when I'm filming these, I don't realize that my face looks so angry. So please just ignore that. Enjoy the dress. But yeah, if you like these kinds of videos, I'll be sure to post more in the future. I have a lot of projects coming up. So thanks again so much for watching and have a great day.